Good day everyone. What's new with you today? We're back for another movie recap. I'm sure you're all looking forward to seeing our movie today. There are spoilers ahead. Have a blast. Our movie for today is called All the Bright Places. All the Bright Places is a 2020 American teen romantic drama film, directed by Brett Haley. This movie may tackle a few dark issues, but this teen weepy about two hurting souls is drenched in warmth and compassion. Jennifer Niven and Liz Hannah adapted Niven's best-selling young adult novel. In this story we will encounter Theodore Finch. He is 17-year-old and is one of the novel's protagonists. He shares a home with his mother and sisters Kate and Decca. Despite his good looks, Finch is referred to as Theodore Freak by the other students at school. Because Finch has been known to have anger issues, act impulsively, and usually do what he wants, it's common for him to leave for days or weeks at a time. Violet Markey is Finch's love interest. 9 months before the novel begins, Violet and her older sister Eleanor were in a car crash that killed Eleanor, a tragedy that traumatized Violet as well as Violet's mom and Violet's dad. Violet and Eleanor were extremely close, and in the novel's present, Violet is overwhelmed with grief for her sister. She wears Eleanor's glasses, changes her hair to look more like Eleanor's, and can't bring herself to work on the website that she and Eleanor started, eleanorandviolet.com. Finch is going for a jog early in the morning. He suddenly sees a girl standing on the edge of the bridge. Finch walks closely to the girl and asks the girl what she is doing. He recognized the girl and it was Violet Markey. Violet asks him to go but instead he goes up on the edge of the bridge too. Finch asks Violet to get down. At school, Violet sees Finch while she is at her locker. Finch is having a counseling session, but his counselor is scolding him because it seems like Finch is not taking it seriously. He's skipped school for a long time already. Violet's friends ask her to go to the party with them. Finch is looking at her from afar and asks his classmates about her sister. Violet is still struggling after her sister Eleanor died. While they are having dinner, her dad talked to her saying if Violet wants to talk about it she can do so. Her mom brought a cake but she walked away. Finch is in his room playing relaxing music and looks at the sticky notes on his wall. He surfed the internet, searching about the car accident of Eleanor and ran to the place where the accident happened. Violet tells her mom about the assignment and she said she doesn't want to participate in the project. Her mom told her maybe it's time for her to get a life again, maybe she should start hanging out with her friends after a long time. She told her mom she's going out with friends and made her leave from the project. So Violet went to a party. Violet leaves the party immediately and while she is walking home, she gets a notification on her phone. He sees a message from Finch asking her to call him if she's still alive. Later on, Finch received a call from Violet asking him to take down the video. Finch immediately comes over Violet. While walking, Finch said he Googled Violet. Finch keeps on having a small talk about Violet's sister. Finch eventually asks Violet to be his partner. She still doesn't want to do it, but Finch is very eager to show her some places. Leaving her a sticky note with a quote, "I feel 1,000 capacities spring up in me." Violet mentions that people call him a freak. Finch said people don't like messy people. Then they said good night to each other. The next day, Finch saw Violet while he was driving. Finch stopped and asked about Hudson. She said it didn't go well, leaving her with no choice but to agree to Finch to be his partner, on one condition. They should not use a car. They started the project to see and go to some places. Finch showed Violet a place. Violet started laughing but stopped it. Finch told her she's not going to hell for laughing. A few moments after, Violet begins to open up why she is at the bridge that time. She said it was her sister's birthday. One night, Violet receives a message from Finch that contains a quote from Virginia Woolf. Violet starts to search for Virginia Woolf quotes so he can reply to Finch. They continued to exchange messages. While Violet is waiting for his reply, she hears a stone tapping on the window. When she looked outside, she saw Finch asking her to go down. That same night, Finch brings Violet to a place where there is a wall with a big note on it, "Before I die." Finch starts writing what he wants to do before he dies and asks Violet to write on the wall too. She wrote, "She wants to be brave. Finch asks more about Eleanor and Violet begins to describe Eleanor. Violet thinks that Eleanor is her best friend. While Violet is walking around the school, her friend approaches her. Violet mentioned that she's doing the project with Finch. Her friend warned her about Finch, that he is dangerous, and Violet can't believe it. Finch approached Violet asking her where is their next stop, but Violet is a bit worried about what she learned about Finch, so she rejected Finch. The next morning, Violet's dad saw a kid on his lawn. Violet immediately went outside to see it and she saw Finch. Finch is asking for Violet to come with him to see another place. There he met Violet's parents. Violet finally agreed to it. Finch promised that he will drive safely, slowly and carefully. While they were on their way to the place, Violet becomes emotional and she starts opening up about the car accident. Finch just kept on listening, then he grabbed Violet's hand to comfort her. They finally arrived at the place Finch is talking about. Violet gets out of the car smiling after seeing the place. Finch tries the ride first and enjoys it. Violet comes next and she seems to like it and can't stop laughing, saying she wants to do it again. While driving, Finch is enjoying the music. Finch has prepared something for Violet, a map of the places he wants to bring Violet and a notebook where she can write about the project. They eventually develop their feelings with each other. Finch stopped in the middle of nowhere and kissed Violet. They continued to enjoy each other's company. One day, while they were having a snack with their friends, Violet noticed Finch staring blankly. She starts to become worried about Finch. Violet asked Finch's friend about him. His friends told her this is normal for Finch, he used to be gone for a week. The other day, Violet saw Finch at his house talking with their parents. They went outside and Violet expressed her disappointment about not contacting her for a few days. Finch brings Violet to a lake. They start removing their clothes and begin to jump into the water. They decided to go under the water and continued to play in the cold water. Violet asked Finch what is he afraid of. He told her she's scared of losing her sister. Violet noticed a scar on Finch's body and started asking him about it, but Finch refused to answer and jumped back to the water. Violet gets very worried because it's taking a long time for him to get back. So she starts jumping in as well to find Finch. Violet becomes very angry with Finch. She asked Finch where he went when he disappeared and wanted Finch to tell something real about him. Then Finch began to tell that he goes to far places when he feels he can't control things. The next day, they immediately went home because they lost track of time. When they get home, Violet's parents are very worried about her and they ask Finch to go home already. Finch started having a panic attack, then he started tearing up and removing the sticky notes on his wall and repainted it blue. Finch started to act weird, he locked himself in his closet. The next day, at school, Romer approached Violet. Finch saw them and asked Violet to go with him. Romer created a commotion calling Finch a freak. Finch is triggered so he punches and starts a fight with Romer. People are calling him crazy so he immediately walks away. Finch can't control his anger issues and disappears again. Violet tries to reach him but she can't. Violet is talking to Finch's friend. He told her that Finch is not easy, but he loves him and Finch thinks all the people around him leave him and he said wouldn't do that to Finch. Violet went to Finch's house where she met Finch's sister. Finch went on therapy. There he saw Violet's friend and discovers that she is bulimic and tries to kill herself twice. Finch's sister has to go to work so she leaves Violet at their house. Violet went to his room and waited for Finch to come home. Violet learns that Finch sometimes has dark moods, he can't focus on anything. Violet wants to help Finch but Finch thinks he's fucked up and no one could help him. He pushes Violet away. The next day, Violet went back to the bridge. Violet cried and became emotional and tried to call Finch. She leaves a voice message saying sorry for being pushy. At home, Violet confessed to her dad that she went to the bridge on Eleanor's birthday. She found herself confused and standing on a ledge. There she met Finch. She thinks Finch saved her. She expresses her concern about Finch's latest disappearance. Her dad suggests she check places that they had visited together. She drives to the lake, where she finds Finch's clothes and phone abandoned, and correctly infers that he is drowned. Sometime later, She and her family attended his funeral. While healing from Finch's suicide, Violet expresses her feeling with her parents, telling she misses him. She also went to see her friend, apologizing that she has no idea what her friend is going through. One night, Violet finds the map they used for travel around Indiana, and notices the last location they were supposed to visit together marked in red. It is a traveler's prayers chapel, a resting place for travelers, and a place for healing for mourners. She later finds his signature in the guest book. With Finch gone, Violet must present their school project alone. She reads aloud her writing on the lessons Finch taught her. Violet swims by herself in the lake. Mental illness is frequently disregarded, and those who struggle with it in its various forms are often overlooked in little ways. All the Bright Places captures the feeling of navigating something out of your control, especially when you feel like you have no one to turn to for assistance. Anyone you meet could be fighting a silent struggle, and this book reminds us to always be nice and kind to others. It provides an accurate portrayal of the difficulties of mental illness rather than a nice and convenient one, which is essential. This film also demonstrates that life is worth living and that happiness may be found even when things get hard. That concludes today's movie recap. Guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Please let me know what you think of this film. Put it in the comments section below. Thank you for taking the time to watch. See you again next time. Have an amazing day.